What is up, everyone, and welcome to Danny Segura's best bets for UFC Vegas 113, which is set to go down this Saturday at the Meta Apex in Las Vegas. So before we get into the picks, and I got 6 picks for you, let's review my record. I think we're going to keep track. Every time we do one of these, we keep track of the previous card and then a total for the year. So we're off to a rocky start. Last week I got smoked, man. I had 6 picks for you. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. And I only hit 1 out of those 6. Now, we picked the winners correctly, a lot of them, but we just didn't pick the prop correctly, the way of victory. So we had Billy Elencana to win by submission at plus 190. We hit that, but we missed on Salkir by KO, Tyson Teixeira by KO, Fiziev by decision, BSD by decision, and Diego Lopez by finish. So that was a 1-5 record for the last card, and in total, we are at 3-8 record for the year, and we are negative units, man, minus 3.8. But let's hope UFC Vegas 113 treats us right, and we can get at least at 0, hopefully, maybe in the positive side of things. So let's get into it. All right, people, pick number 1. We are going to go with Wong Kong to win by decision. That is at a plus 100. I like that very much. Obviously, the KO is in play here, but I do think that Eduardo Mora, Wong Kong's opponent, is quite tough. She's quality. I think she can hang on and see this out. Wong Kong is a very, very good striker. We know that she's picked up a good amount of knockouts in her career. Well, actually, out of 9 fights, she's only got 2 knockouts, 2 submissions, and 4 decisions. I know she's been kind of made as a knockout artist, winning her UFC debut by knockout, but since she lost by submission, and then she's picked up 2 decision wins. So I think this is going to go to the cards again. And I think Wong Kong is the better fighter. I think she's going to land the better strikes and do the more damage. So I see her winning on the scorecard. So pick number 1, we're going to go Wong Kong by decision at plus 100. Pick number 2, and this is going to be a knockout parlay, okay? We are going to go with Dustin Jacoby to beat Julius Walker by knockout or TKO, and we're going to go with Michael Oleninchuk to beat Marc-Andre Barriault at knockout or technical knockout, and that is at a plus 1. Sorry, I got the numbers mixed up. Jacoby knockout plus 175, Michael minus 190. So that knockout parlay gets you at plus 320. So that's going to be our pick number 2. I like this very much. Look, if Dustin Jacoby wins, he's usually knocking fools out. If Michael wins, he's usually knocking fools out as well, right? They do have some tough fights here. I think these are competitive fights, but keep in mind, both are entering as the favorites, so they are expected to win. And rightfully so. I do think they should be the favorites in both bouts. And again, given the nature of how they usually win fights, I think getting a duo knockout here from both fighters is a very it's a very doable parlay. All right, so that's going to be our second pick parlay: Jacoby by knockout, Michael by knockout, plus 175, minus 190. That combined puts you at a plus 320. All right, pick number 3. And as you can already tell, I kind of like giving the parlays a little bit of a theme to kind of make things fun. So again, this is going to be a second parlay, and it's going to have a theme. And this is going to be the Bashra Bros Parlay, BBP, okay? Look, we're going to pick here for Farid Basharat to beat John Matsumoto. John Matsumoto, this Brazilian kid, he's very good. I believe he's like 17-1. But Farid is undefeated, 14-0. He does look to be the more skilled brother, and yeah, it looks like he's a special fighter. And on the other side, Javid Basharat, he is also good, perhaps living a little bit under the shadow of his brother, but he's still, I think, a very skilled fighter. He is on a 2-fight losing streak, but keep in mind he lost to Ayman Sahabi, who Ayman Sahabi doesn't necessarily look all that great while winning fights, but man, he's winning and he's on quite the streak. And at this point, there's many, many quality fighters like Chito Vera, like Jose Aldo, that have lost to Sahabi. So I think we have to be a little bit forgiving in that defeat. And then he lost to Ricky Simon, but I think he kind of just got caught in that one. It was a first round knockout. Ricky has that power, so we know that that is a result that can happen with anybody not of the elite fighting Ricky. And I think this should be a good bounce back position for him. So we're gonna go for that parlay. So the Basharat Bros both to get victories on this card. That is at a plus 141. So Fareed is at a minus 275, and Javid is at a minus 130. So that's how we get to the plus 141 for our third pick. Pick number 4. We're going to go with Jailton Almeida to win. Just to win. No specific result. And that is at a minus 150. I think he's got to get a win here, man. Rizvan is good. Rizvan Kuniev has experience. This is a guy that, fought in Eagle FC. I saw him live here in Miami. He's good, man. He's a skilled fighter. He beat a UFC veteran Anthony Hamilton to defend the prestigious Eagle FC heavyweight title. But look, he tested for some banned substances in his following fight for the PFL against Renan Ferreira. We've seen him have a bit of a change in physicality. He wins in Dana White Contender Series, but loses to Curtis Blades in his UFC debut in Baku, Azerbaijan. Look, this is a must-win for Jailton Almeida. He lost, in my opinion. He should have won against Volkov, but even in my opinion, which was a controversial loss, people are still happy and glad that he lost. Even Dana White saying like the right guy won, and that's because he didn't do anything, right? He just controlled the fight, and he was in positions to do damage to make the fight a little bit more exciting. Yet it seems he chose not to. I feel like this is a must-win for him. His reputation is on the line. His stay at the top of the title of the title contention list at heavyweight is on the line as well. I think this is a must-win for him, and I can see him getting a victory here. Again, I think the submission's live. I can definitely see him going out there and trying to be as decisive as possible and kind of put that behind him to kind of clean up his image a little bit. But at the same time, man, some of these fighters just sometimes that's just in them, and they just can't do damage. So it wouldn't surprise me, and maybe we see another lackluster decision in favors for Jailton Almeida. So with that being said, we're not going to touch a specific prop. We're just going to go to win at minus 150 for our fourth pick. Pick number 5, and we go to the co-main event of the card, which I think is the best fight on the card, to be honest. At least the fight that carries the most importance in regards to each division, right? To the respective divisions. So in this bout, we are going to take Kyoji Horiguchi to defeat Amir Albasi by decision in this flyweight matchup, and that is at a minus 110. I like it. Look, Amir is tough as hell. He went full distance with Brandon Moreno, a guy that causes a lot of damage. I think Kyoji is dangerous. I think that, yes, he's got some power to him, especially at 125. But Amir Albasi's a tough dude, and he really wants this. I do think that in the end, Kyoji is the better fighter. So that's why he is the favorite, and that's why we're going to go with him. But I give a lot of credit, and I very much keep in mind Albasi's toughness, right? This is a guy that's had neck surgery, the guy that's had like serious injuries, and yet he's always come back, kept training, and has returned to the UFC. So that alone just kind of points about his determination and how bad he wants it. So I don't see Kyoji Horiguchi getting him out of there in 15 minutes. Maybe if the fight was 25, that'd be a different story. But because it's 3 rounds, I think this goes to the scorecards, and the better fighter, Kyoji Horiguchi, wins in my opinion. So that is our 5th pick at minus 110. All right, now we go to our final pick number 6. And in this one, as you can probably tell, we go to the main event, which is a bantamweight bout between Mario Bautista and Vinicius Oliveira. Now, this is going against my heart, right? I love Loic Dog. I love Vinicius Oliveira. He's such a fun fighter. And I do think the better result for the division would be for him to win. It would certainly spice things up. He's kind of like the John Silva of 135 pounds. But, dude, Mario Bautista is very, very, very good. And it's a very smart guy, a guy that does whatever he needs to do to win. If he can put in a show, he will do it, so long as he's not risking so much that he could potentially lose. So he's a guy that, he's very, very responsible. I think that's a key word when describing his mentality, his approach to fights. And he's always a guy that you can kind of rely on to get you a result, depending on who he's facing, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is that he's a very constant fighter. He's a very reliable fighter. You know exactly what you're gonna get. There's no surprises. Oh, are we gonna get a reserved fighter here? Are we gonna get a fighter that goes for the knockout, or are we gonna get a fighter that's motivated, that's not motivated, right? I feel like there's sometimes volatility with certain fighters, but in this case, Mario goes in there to win, and that's what he does. I do think he's got a physicality advantage here in terms of strength and a wrestling advantage here. That put together can give you a lot of control time, and that's why I think he's going to win a decision at plus 225. Look, go back and watch the Said fight with Look Dog. Said Nurmagomedov gave him some issues, man. He gave him some issues, and yes, it was essentially a unanimous decision win in favor for the Brazilian. But there were some aspects there in the grappling and the wrestling that Said had a little bit of success in, thus turning the fight into a fight of the night. And I think, but Bautista's stronger, probably stronger wrestling, not stronger submissions, but stronger wrestling, and he is in shape, dude. Said turns the tens, to gas out. I don't expect that from Mario Bautista. So I think it's going to be a tough fight. I think it's going to be competitive. And I think Mario, in wanting to contain the chaos of Oliveira, is going to play it a little bit safe to maintain his spot at the top of the UFC bantamweight division and get back on track because he's coming off a loss. So Mario Bautista by decision, I can't believe he's at a plus 225. That to me is a very good line. So that is our sixth and final pick for this segment. All right, people, let me know in the comments what you think about these picks, if they're good, if they're shit. Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what your thoughts on the card, who you have winning. So hopefully we bounce back strong this week. We'll see. And yeah, like always, bet responsibly if you're going to do so, and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you, and see you in the next one.